Okay, so this is just for blocks 2 and 3. In blocks 2 and 3, we did not actually get to finish the notes, so we do have to do that first before we can move on and ultimately take your quiz that's today. So here's a few examples. This won't take very long. Just so you understand, this will actually probably help because you're about to take a quiz on exactly this. So we already talked about what is the last. So just to review, the last here is the most recent price of the stock. Okay, the change is what has happened this day so far. It can be positive or it can be negative if it's gone up or down, but this is what has happened today so far. This is what the price opened at today, so what the price started at today. 52 weeks high and low, that's what the highest it's been the past year and the lowest it's been this past year. Sales, we haven't talked about this, but this is how many stocks were traded that day in the hundreds. And then the high and the low, this is the high and the low today. So highest it's been today, lowest it's been today. So when answering these questions, you're just basically reading this table. So the first question says, what's the difference between the high and the low prices on May 5th? So this is May 5th. So the difference between the high and the low, you simply just subtract the numbers. So we will just do 52.6 minus 49, and we will get a difference of 3.60. And that's essentially what you would do with the second one. Just says does the exact same thing except for May 12th. Subtract the high, subtract the high and the low, and I think here you end up getting like 0.8 or something like that. If you subtract the high and the low, you get 0.8. That's example 1. Example 2. On May 12th, what is the actual volume of shares posted? So, so I get this question a dozen times during a quiz. The volume of shares posted is, in other words, sales. So the volume of shares posted is sales. Now we got to be careful with this because the sales are in the hundreds, and that is the wrong. How about let's try a pen? The sales are in the hundreds, which means that this is actually 28,100, or we need to add a couple zeros there. So it's not actually 28,000, but because the sales are in hundreds, you have to add a couple zeros to the end, making that actually 2.8 million. So 2,800,000 shares. And this actually should have gone here. They switched it up on me. So May 5th is actually 2.8 million. Over here, you would add 2 zeros, so that'd be 3.2 million for May 12th. At what price did XYZ Corporation close on May 4th? Got to be careful there. It does not actually give us a closing price. Also, it says May 4th, so it's looking at the closing price for the day before. So what you have to do here, in order to figure out the day before's closing price, we look at what it opened at. So this is what the price opened at. And then we can use this information here, the change, since we know what it opened at, and we know that it's changed this much today. We can figure out, we can figure out what it was the previous day. So the opening price was 50.1, and that is been a change of 2.61. So, and I think I don't, sorry, start over, hit reset, reset. The last price that it was at and how much it has increased. So we subtract these. If we take the price that it is currently at, since that means it was plus 2.61, if we subtract the 2.61, then we can figure out what it was the day before. So, we take the 52.2, and since the price has gone up 2.61, in order to figure out what it was before, we actually have to subtract 2.61. And I'm going to need a calculator for this. $52.2 minus 2.61, 49.59. So what that means is that it was 49.59 the day before. Now we can reverse that with the May 11th, so it's looking at the day before May 12th. If its most current rate is this 49.98, and that means that it was, and it's down 1.55. To figure out what it was the day before, we can add 1.55. So 49.98 add 1.55. It was at 51.53. And that's what it was, what it closed at the day before. Finally, the examples here on use May 4th's closing price. So we have May 4th's closing price. This is May 4th's closing price right there. From example 3, and the May 5th opening price, to find the difference in the prices as a percent increase. Now this is where a formula is required. So the formula for percent change, or percent increase or percent decrease, there is a formula for this. Ooh, too far. The percent change is going to be so percent change, and that's the wrong percent change. Delta is change. Percent change equals, and I'll do this, new minus old divided by old. And what do I mean by that? That means it's the new number minus the old number divided by the old number. So the new number would be the most recent number we have, and that would be, since we're looking at the closing price from the day before and the opening price from May 5th, the opening price from May 5th is actually the new price. And so it says the opening price on May 5th was 50.1. So that means that it's 50.10 minus the old price, 50.1, and the old price is what we just highlighted there, 49.59 over 49.59. New minus old divided by old. So that is 50.1 minus 49.59 equals divided by 49.59. You got to be careful there. When you're doing that, you have to do the top part first. So do 50.1 minus 49.59 and hit equals, and then divide by 49.59. And I end up with a 0.01, or in other words, a 1% increase. Because it's positive, it's increase. And then the last one here, you do the exact same thing, but for May 12th, the opening price is 49.9. So the new price is 49.9. The closing price from the day before is right here, 51.53. So minus 51.53 over 51.53. And that's 49.9 minus 51.53 equals, divided by 51.53 equals, and then this is negative 0.03, or in other words, a negative 3% decrease. So if that's a little confusing, we'll definitely go over it again later. Percent increase and percent decrease. This is another percent increase. Example 5 is exactly the same thing. It says on May 6th that they announced a decrease in earnings. This news caused their price to drop to 44.37. So we look at May 5th. May 5th closed. May 5th's last is 52.2. So 52.2 on May 5th. And now it's 44.37, so that's the new 44.37 minus 52.2 was what it the last number was, divided by 52.2. And this is obviously going to be a more significant drop. 0.37 minus 52.2 equals, divided by 52.2, and you'll see a negative 0.15, meaning a 15% decrease. And you could do the same thing for the second example for more practice. If you have any questions, please talk to each other, ask questions, and help each other out. That's it. Thanks.